Alright, so it is Saturday, and well, things have been getting underway, and I haven't really filmed much. I didn't think about it, but I'm planning right now to make some pantry shelving. It's something I always wanted to do, and I figured let's actually get something done before the vacation's over. And I mean, I got a lot of stuff done, but nothing big, I guess. So I got myself some plans drawn up. The idea is to have an 8-foot shelf. 2-foot wall studs or studs with shelves on there. 6 shelves. Actually, there will be one section will be, well, if it's like 5, then it will be 4 shelves on this side, 12-foot or 12-inch spacing, and then the other 4 sections will be stacked 8 apart, and there will be a 4-foot section. And I'm thinking about making an extra 12-foot shelf right on 12-inch shelf right on top of that, and it should 18 inches deep. And I just looked in the old lumber supply, and I should have enough stuff for that. And, as far as I can see, besides that, I cobbled together that little platform the other day. So I think last I filmed I had that oak all planed down and jointed, glued together, and wow, it's such a tough time jointing that stuff. It always turns on me. I've not had much luck with it, so I scrapped that idea. Maybe I can use it for something else. Maybe I could do a pulley with it. I don't know. Instead, I opted for now the plywood. So I got 2 pieces of plywood to get a little bit more of a thicker piece, and then I figured, if it's going to stay on my counter and make it look a little bit nice, so I just Roman edged the pieces together. That is just glued together. That was done yesterday, and I just put the first coat of stain on there. I might do one more in 8 hours, just a very light coat, and it's in oak is what it's called, oak stain. So I don't know. I'm fairly happy with that. With how that turned out, looks nice. I think. I was a little bit hesitant to use plywood because of plywood doesn't always look nice, but I tossed some stain on there. It looks pretty decent. So right now the idea is to go into the woodshed, start cutting stuff for the shelving, because in the basement right now it's a mess. It used to be messier. This is the organized mess, but I want on this side to have shelves, so I can store all my canned goods, clean out my laundry room, clean out my closet, because that's where I've been storing it all along, and just go from there. So see how that works. And I mean, right now with an 8-foot shelf, that'll get me quite a bit of space. That'll be quite a bit of room. So and the 8-inch spacing will fit the quart jars and down, and then the 12-inch sections will fit anything like for pickled eggs, juice, anything that's, because there's a lot of stuff that's higher than 8-inch, but your standard 1 liters are all 8-inch and down. So that's what the majority of the space is for, and you can have the space to store all your stuff. And I'll probably have, because I have everything in my laundry room right now, and it's just a mess. Organize it, get it organized, and then kind of go from there. And yeah, so I have stuff like this, jars like this. It's actually really nice. It's an old oil jar, but you can use it for, but you can at least store that in there, and at least it can all go downstairs. And it's just it's one thing I've always wanted to do. And so I figured, I'd sit down, plan it out, and actually get this done. So this is the big project, and I'm doing it at the end of the week. I guess it took me this long to get up there, but yeah, once this is done, that'll be superb as well. It'll be really neat. And then we can start grinding flour as well. I already have corn and sorghum. We can try that out in there. And that's soon to be done. It won't be moved up. It won't be installed today, but at some point, maybe tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe not tomorrow, but we'll see. But yeah, head out to the woodshed, we'll gather up some lumber, and go from there. Alright, so I got around to doing some cutting here, and I think everything has been cut outside of the actual shelves, the plywood itself, but that needs to be, I'll probably do that once this is probably standing up or something. But here we have, we got the very base, because the basement is, it does get wet sometimes in the spring, so everything has to sit off the ground, and I had these cut-offs, pressure treated, so everything will be just raised 1/2 inch above the ground. That's plenty enough. These are all the braces that will hold the shelving together, all 42 of them. Then I have the 6 uprights for because the shelf will be one section. It'll go up and then a section down. So for those 6 of these, and I was almost had enough, but I was 1 piece short. These are all 56.5. So this one that was shorter. I didn't have enough for 56.5, so I cut it down to 42 and then 14.5, 14.7, just so that I could. So there will be, the brace will actually be sitting here, and that'll join the two together. I'll probably just glue them together as well, and that will act as the one post, and I can just put that in the back of the middle, and it should work just fine. So what I can do right now is probably start screwing these individual sections, because I don't have a beam that runs like the full width. They're all going to be kind of joined together by the plywood itself, which I think will work just fine. I could join them together in the back with probably maybe 1x4 if I find some strapping for that. We'll see, but I didn't plan it to have like a vertical, or I guess a horizontal brace. I find those designs, they waste way too much space. So by that I mean, like, a lot of people have them running horizontally, and then they put their plywood on top of that, and then they rest their shelving on top of that, and yeah, that gives it good strength. But everything, you have 3.5 inches that you're not using, unless you want to take your canned good and just like go in and do it sideways. But I'd sooner just have then all the verticals, all the support running through, and then you can so it's just the shelf that's actually sticking out. So that's the design I went with. See how it works. I think it should be plenty strong enough. I'm using 3/4 for the shelves themselves, so that'll lend it strength. And everything I've put in my closet so far has held up. That's 3/4 shelving as well. You can see there's a bow to it, but those things almost run a full 6-foot span, and these will be supported between 2 foot. So a 2-foot span on a 3/4 plywood should be no problem, in my opinion, and they'll be supported. It'll be 4-foot lengths, yeah, with a support brace in the middle. So yeah, I'll get it's easy enough to say, but I'll get around to cobbling some stuff together, see where that goes. Alright, quick little update on where things are at. It's coming together, and trying some new stuff. Let's see. So this is the central brace for what will be the higher section. So that's my 12-inch section. And on top of all these ledges, there will be sitting 3/4 plywood. Now, the original idea was to span them 4 foot across, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that because I have to get them in there. But I do like the idea of making individual shelving, so that I could put them in and out. Now, I'm wondering how it's going to be over a 2-foot span. So I'm thinking like the shelving needs to go in here, and I'll have to put still the bracing on this side. And the way I'm attaching them now, this is what I'm doing new, is that I'm striking the line where I need it, and I'm just stapling it so it's set, and then I'm putting 1 screw in there. And I think that should be plenty strong enough, just one screw. Not to be a cheapskate, but I also have a tendency to overbuild things, and there's nothing wrong with that, but if you don't have to do that, you don't need to do that. So I think 1 screw is good enough. I could probably put longer screws in there then at that point. I'll go look around. I digress. But if I make if I notch, what I'm thinking about doing is make an individual, so you can make removable racking, so you could take it in and out and they just rest on here. But then the idea would be to notch them out 3/4 of an inch by 3.5, so they fit around there, and that and it would be nice if they can butt in the middle, but it doesn't have to be flush. That way, because you can't just then put them in, but because there is the spacing there, I'll have to test it out to see what fits. But you can angle them in and lower them in like that. If that works, then I'm gonna go ahead with that. If not, there will be some degree of notch that it can be feasible with, and I know they're not going to be flush. Well, they could be, but I can't do exactly 4 foot then, because you will be taking away the blade width away. So it's not going to be 48, but if you're going to be cutting those 2 foot sections, it's negligible. You'll be losing a 1/16 on each side because of the 1/8 blade. But again, that's negligible. So I don't know. We'll see where this goes. And yeah, so this is the center one. So it stands on the center of the legs, and then the next one I'll make will be standing on the corner of. Oh. Still probably one of my favorite features of this shed. I'm happy I did that. Beats having to always, you can just leave the compressor under there and never have to touch it. Outside of when you actually, I guess, change the oil and do that, but it stays clean under there, which was the whole point. But yeah, I'm just gonna continue to plug away at this, and yeah, go take a break, sit by the bees, watch them, and maybe eat something. I don't know. Didn't have breakfast today, so yeah, we'll see where the day goes. All right, so I got the pieces cobbled together, and yeah, they're all sitting here. So I have my the far left side, my other left, and then there's the middle. This the transitional piece. So the left side, the right side. I'm not thinking straight today. The right side is it's got 3 shelves. There's almost a 16, a 12, and a 12. And then there's, of course, the top, and then there's going to be 3 sections that are all 8 inches in height, and but they extend further up with a 12-inch shelf at the very on the top there again. So this is the left side, and then I have the middle, and got 2 middle pieces. Oh no, that's the middle of that, and then this is also a middle piece, and then this is the transitional one where it goes from the 8s to the 12s. So yeah, we'll see how that all goes together. Sometimes things just don't. I'm trying to figure out how this works. 2, 4, 6. Am I missing a piece? I don't know. I have to think this one through again. Okay, yeah. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. This really would be on the outside, but there's 2, 4, 6, 8. There's your 8 foot. It all makes sense. So yeah, I'll have to figure out how I kind of join these together. I'm thinking I have to, bring it into the house. So I might just bring them piece by piece down the stairs, and then I might connect them on the back by some means, and then so that it's just kind of at least that it's held together. I might do something with the base. I can connect this 4 foot section all with a top piece. That 4 foot section can be all connected with one top piece. So the tops can very easily be connected from just the platforms themselves, and now perhaps the bottoms too, to a degree. I could just maybe put something in the back of the 2x6, but we'll see. Alright, so I guess a little update. I got around to cutting the shelves to their width of 18. So these are for all the inserts. I have two. Those are going to stay at 4 foot. Those will be the tops of the two top 4 foot sections, and these will be for all the rest of the shelving. So these are all going to be cut down 2 foot. That's what I'm going to do right now. So I'm laying some lines out, and I'm just going to cut this with the circular saw, and then never cut 2 foot on a table saw. Makes me curious now if I can. I don't even think it extends. I think you can theoretically do 2 foot. You know what? That's not a bad. I'm gonna look into that. Well, yeah, I can set it to 24, and it seemed to work just nicely. I got the 4 sheets cut for the bottoms now, and 2 of them. Yeah, it'll be 2 pairs of 2 here. So I'm gonna cut them both 2 at the same time, then the other 2 at the same time, and that's just gonna be notching out the 1.5 by 3.5. I'll probably give it an 1/8 for tolerance ish, and then 3/4 by 3.5 for the midsection on there, and then those will be the 2 ends, and then the 2 in the middle would just be the 3/4 by 3/4 where both of them overlap. So I'll get those notched out, and then go down to the basement, and we should be able to piece those in. And once those are pieced in, then we could put the tops on there, and at that point we'll have top, bottom, and everything should kind of fit together. And then we'll just have to go on and I'll probably cut one of these for shelving. Well, I'll cut them all, but I'll do one test batch because I don't know if 24 is gonna fit, because they will have to angle in there. So it might have to be a little bit less, but at least we'll make one test fit it up until we find the one that fits, and then we can make all the rest the same way. So yeah, I'll just get these notched out, and then we can start actually getting the shelving set up. Alright, so it's here in the basement, and I got the shelving set up, roughly. And you can see I just put the boards in there. They're still loose on there, but I'm going to screw them to the bases of the treated wood. And I just have to make sure that I'm going to have to move it all a little bit to the left here because of the plug-in, which, yeah, that's for the router. It's down here. But yeah, you can see that this will be one level, and then here's the second, and it worked very nicely. I think I don't know how much You know, you got enough space to still store some stuff up here. You got the taller ones in here, and yeah, I think it's gonna work out quite nicely. I think, I hope. More storage than what I have currently, but yeah, we'll see how this all fits up, and you know, if I can just get the tops on there, that would be enough for me. I mean, wow, I say that would be a good day, because all the shelving, that's gonna be, I think that's gonna be the most time-consuming part right there. Albeit, what I could easily do, like, it's not terrible much to strike a mark on them. I could just, whatchamacallit, actually crack out the bandsaw, and then, but that's a lot quicker than the pole saw, so might do that. See where it goes. Yeah, but I'll just go tack this in, then tack the top on, and then we'll yeah, see it, kind of move it to where it should sit, and see how it looks. Alright, so I think I'm gonna kind of call it there. Most of the thing is framed up, and it's should be good. So yeah, I got the tops on there. The bottom is screwed. The tops are almost all screwed. Not everything has been. I still need to line some things up. I'm just wondering still on like it could be tilted this way or that way. There are studs behind, so I could always strike put a piece of wood in there to line it up so that it is 90. So I can do that still. But for now, things are set up, and I think it will work nicely. Should be good. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, and then there should be plenty of room in here to actually start storing stuff, and it'll be a good place to. It's a lot more space than what I have currently. I'll say that. So this will be just the canned goods, and then there'll be more spots on. I'm trying to organize the spot so it's actually good at facilitating food storage down here. Plus, on the other side of the wall, there's a whole area as well. It's just there's just dug a hole in the ground with a concrete slab, so that's the kind of foundation this house has. But the other side is where I store from the rafters, so I hang it up like that, or like in bags of the potatoes, onions, stuff of that nature. I even have squash sitting in totes like that with oak shavings on the bottom, and I still have them on the other side, and they're still doing good. And I got them last August, so it was in the fall. But yeah, no, I think progress has been made. I'm happy with where it sits, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the actual shelves will start lining up, and go from there. I might tinker away a little bit more, but I'm just gonna kind of rest for a little bit, and then kind of see where the evening goes. Alright, so I'm gonna leave it off here, just by the raised beds, give the chicken something to eat, and cut some garlic scapes. I had to cut those anyways. I just figured I'd point out a few things in here. One, I got some mullein leaves, so I'll be drying those. Harvested some salad and dill. I got eggs under there and the garlic scapes, and yeah, the cabbage is all volunteer from last year, self-seeded. I've got dill coming up, but one of the interesting things is this is dill too, but it has white flowers, and I'm noticing that on a few of them, white flowers, but typically I've only ever had yellow. See, that's what I know. I've never seen white flowers before, so that's one thing that's different. I got a bunch of onions going to seed, so that's nice. These are onions that I don't know where they came from. I guess they maybe were bulbs from last year that were forgotten in there, but they grew back. But they'll be getting some nice flowers. I want to try growing onions from seed. These are the only ones that came up, so we'll see how those do in the end of the year. And yeah, I left. I got one piece of cabbage in there still. Again, that was self-seeded. That'll be whatchamacallit. I'll bring that to seed. And oh, I forgot to highlight this, but it's easily overshadowed. But this looks like wheat. And it's just a piece of. I don't know how this got here. I didn't seed it. And it wants it. But this has made now is on its way to making four stalks off of one root. I don't know where it came from, but all I know is it's growing in the gravel. It's self-seeded. I'm gonna be, Lord willing, that goes to seed. I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna I'm gonna run that in some trials. I'm gonna propagate that. If that does well, I mean, if it can grow in those conditions, it should be good to go. And then, as you can see here, a lot of the mustard is going to seed. So that's really neat. That's exciting. It's a very odd plant in its own right, because what I find odd is that the flowers are up here, but then all the seed pods are made down the stem. So these seed pods didn't have flowers. It's not. I don't think that's. See, you see, there's the flowers, but the seed pods form on the stem itself. So that's kind of odd, in my opinion. I got some oats, wheat. That's all coming through. So yeah, and the strawberries, well, they're still going. And I have potatoes popping up here and there. So yeah, it's a neat, a lot of experiments going on in these beds. It's kind of how I set them up. These are kind of like this is my trial runs, kind of this herbs. It doesn't, propagating seed. That's what the mustard was here for. The other grains, they're all kind of trials. So, but yeah, interesting to see how things are progressing. And take it, if you watch this far, then thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.